What if the true secret to better circulation, more energy, sharper thinking, and even a healthier sex life wasn't locked away in a prescription bottle, but was already inside your body, waiting for you to unlock it? What if the key to feeling vibrant and alive again was not some miracle drug, but a natural process that your body is designed to do, if only you know how to help it along? Imagine for a moment waking up with a kind of energy you haven't felt in years, feeling light on your feet, having the stamina to do the things you love without constantly running out of breath, and even feeling more confident in your most intimate moments. That vision might sound too good to be true, but science has revealed that there is one simple, powerful molecule at the very heart of all of this, and most people have barely even heard of it. It's called nitric oxide, and understanding how it works can completely transform the way you think about your health. Before we dive deeper, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell, because we're going to explore practical, science-backed ways to boost your vitality and longevity, and you won't want to miss the upcoming videos. Now, back to this fascinating molecule. Nitric oxide might sound technical or complicated, but the idea is actually easy to grasp. Think of your blood vessels as the vast highway system of your body. Every beat of your heart sends traffic, which is your blood, rushing through those highways, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every organ, every tissue, every single cell. But like any highway system, congestion can build up. Lanes can get narrow, traffic slows down, and eventually the whole system starts to strain. This is where nitric oxide steps in. It acts like the most intelligent traffic control system ever invented. It tells the smooth muscles in your blood vessel walls to relax, opening up the lanes, widening the highways, and allowing blood to flow freely and smoothly. This simple action of widening blood vessels, which scientists call vasodilation, has ripple effects across your entire body. When your blood vessels open, your blood pressure naturally lowers, because there's less resistance in the system. Your heart doesn't have to pump as hard, which protects it over the long term. More blood flow means more oxygen and more nutrients are delivered to your brain, your muscles, your skin, and your vital organs. That translates into more energy, clearer thinking, better performance, and faster recovery. Athletes have long known about the performance boost that comes from supporting nitric oxide. It allows them to exercise longer, with greater endurance, because their muscles are literally being bathed in oxygen more efficiently. But this isn't just about athletes. This is about everyday people who want to feel younger, stronger, and more alive. One of the most striking effects of nitric oxide is on sexual health. For both men and women, proper blood flow is absolutely essential for arousal and performance. Nitric oxide is the master regulator that makes that process possible. Without it, the blood vessels involved in sexual function simply don't open up the way they need to. In fact, medications like Viagra don't create nitric oxide at all. What they do is keep the nitric oxide you already have working longer, so the lanes stay open. That means if your nitric oxide levels are too low in the first place, those medications can only do so much. The real foundation is supporting your body's ability to make nitric oxide naturally. Here's the challenge. As we get older, our natural ability to produce nitric oxide declines. Studies show that this decline often begins around the age of 40 and can fall by as much as half by the time we reach our 60s. This isn't just an inconvenience. It has real consequences for health. When nitric oxide production drops, your blood vessels stiffen and narrow. The once wide open highways shrink down to cramped, congested roads. High blood pressure, which is one of the strongest risk factors for heart disease and stroke, begins to creep in. Blood flow to the brain decreases, leading to memory problems, fogginess, and slower thinking. Muscles tire more quickly, recovery takes longer, fatigue becomes a daily battle. And of course, in the most intimate part of life, performance and confidence begin to suffer. Low nitric oxide is actually one of the leading physiological causes of erectile dysfunction.
So when we talk about nitric oxide, we're not talking about a minor detail of health. We're talking about one of the most fundamental molecules that keeps our entire system running smoothly.
The good news is that you can take powerful, natural steps to boost your nitric oxide production. And those steps don't involve complicated protocols or expensive treatments. They involve everyday choices, the kind you can start making today. Let's begin with food, because nature has actually provided us with exactly what we need if we know where to look. Certain vegetables are especially rich in natural nitrates, compounds that your body can convert into nitric oxide through a clever process that involves the bacteria in your mouth and the acids in your stomach. At the very top of this list is beetroot. Beets are like a nitric oxide superfood. Research has shown that drinking beet juice before exercise can increase stamina by as much as 16%. That's an enormous improvement, all from supporting this one molecule. Think about what that means in your daily life. A simple glass of beet juice or a roasted beet salad could translate into climbing stairs more easily, going for longer walks, or having the endurance to keep up with your kids or grandkids. Leafy greens are another major ally. Spinach, kale, arugula, all of them are packed with nitrates. Arugula, in fact, is one of the most concentrated sources known. Picture yourself adding a handful of fresh arugula to your lunch plate or blending some spinach into a smoothie. Those small, tasty choices are quietly fueling your nitric oxide production, opening up those highways inside you. Garlic also plays a fascinating role, though in a slightly different way. Instead of relying on nitrates, garlic contains a compound called allicin, which helps activate the enzyme your body uses to make nitric oxide directly from amino acids like arginine. So when you cook with garlic, you're not just adding flavor, you're literally flipping on a biochemical switch that helps your body generate more nitric oxide. Now, let's talk about movement. Exercise is perhaps the most powerful lifestyle choice you can make for nitric oxide. Every time you get your blood pumping, the inner lining of your blood vessels, known as the endothelium, senses the increased flow. That physical stimulation sends a signal for the endothelium to release more nitric oxide. It's as if your body rewards you for moving by flooding your system with this life-giving molecule. The beautiful part is you don't have to be a marathon runner to benefit. Brisk walking, cycling, swimming, dancing, even gardening can all do the trick. The key is consistency. Just half an hour of moderate activity most days of the week keeps that nitric oxide flowing steadily. Think of it as training your blood vessels to stay young, flexible, and responsive. There's also an interesting link between breathing and nitric oxide. When you breathe through your nose rather than your mouth, your body actually produces more nitric oxide in the nasal passages, which then mixes into the air you inhale and travels to your lungs. This is one reason why practices like yoga and slow nasal breathing exercises can have calming and energizing effects. You're literally feeding your body more nitric oxide with every breath. For some people, supplementation can offer additional support. Two of the most researched options are the amino acids L-arginine and L-citrulline. L-arginine is the direct raw material your body uses to make nitric oxide. But here's the twist. When you take arginine as a supplement, much of it gets broken down in the liver before it can be used. L-citrulline, on the other hand, bypasses the liver and travels to the kidneys, where it is then converted into arginine in a more efficient, sustained way. That makes citrulline, which is naturally found in watermelon, a particularly effective way to support nitric oxide. Of course, it's important to emphasize that supplements are not a one-size-fits-all solution. If you're considering them, especially if you have health conditions or take medications, you should always consult your healthcare provider first. Now, because nitric oxide has been getting more attention in recent years, there's also a lot of confusion and misinformation out there. Let's clear up a few myths. Some people worry that nitric oxide is dangerous, when in reality, in the right amounts produced naturally by your body, it is absolutely essential. The real danger comes from not having enough. Another common mix-up is between nitric oxide and nitrous oxide, which is the so-called laughing gas used by dentists. These are completely different chemicals. Nitric oxide, the molecule we're talking about, is a signaling gas your body makes to regulate blood flow. Nitrous oxide, on the other hand, is an anesthetic. And finally, some think nitric oxide is only relevant to athletes and bodybuilders. While it's true they take advantage of its benefits, the truth is that nitric oxide is vital for everyone. It's about circulation, blood pressure, heart health, brain function, and sexual wellness. In other words, it's about living well, aging gracefully, and maintaining the quality of life you deserve. So where does all this leave us? It leaves us with the understanding that boosting nitric oxide isn't some mysterious, complicated task. It's about small, consistent choices like eating more beets and leafy greens, enjoying garlic in your meals, moving your body regularly, practicing nasal breathing, and considering natural supports like citrulline when appropriate. These are the daily habits that widen your internal highways, lower your blood pressure, fuel your brain, energize your muscles, and even restore your confidence in the bedroom. Every choice is like adding another worker to your personal road crew, keeping the lanes wide open, the traffic flowing smoothly, and the system running beautifully. When you think about it that way, it becomes clear just how much power you already hold over your own health. You don't have to wait for symptoms to become problems. You don't have to resign yourself to slowing down, feeling foggy, or losing vitality with age. By supporting your body's natural production of nitric oxide, you're tapping into one of the most fundamental, life-giving processes inside you. And that can truly change the way you feel day to day. If this video has given you a new perspective on your health, please take a second to hit that like button. It really helps this channel reach more people who need this information. Share it with a friend or a loved one who could benefit from understanding just how powerful and important nitric oxide is. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell, because we're going to keep exploring practical, science-backed ways to live with more vitality, more energy, and more joy. And now I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell us one simple change you're going to make this week to start boosting your nitric oxide. Maybe it's adding more leafy greens to your meals, maybe it's going for a brisk walk, or maybe it's simply choosing to breathe through your nose more often. Whatever it is, know that these small steps can add up to something life-changing. Thanks so much for watching, and here's to the vibrant, energetic life you deserve.